Ladies and gentlemen of the beautiful crypto world, I welcome you all back to another crypto episode, because yet again today, there's some crazy stuff to cover, and I've still got $1,000 to give away to the audience if we reach 1,000 likes today. So make sure you press that like button and let's dive right in. And let's preface this by saying, what I've been doing the last couple of hours is just really aggressively buy the dip. As you can kind of see from this Telegram post that I've been doing for a little bit here. It's not perfect, the one I bought here, for example, right on this level. It was not perfect for XRP. It was neither perfect for Solana here. It wasn't perfect. And for Ethereum, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't the perfect bottom. But I personally think that with the situation of the crypto market right now, it doesn't really matter. And all we've got to do is just accumulate for where we're going to be over the next few weeks / months. Anyway, so 𝗕𝗫𝗀𝗀, one of the best traders ever, he said yesterday, pretty confident there will be a moment sometime in the next week where one of the more large funds decides to buy Bitcoin supply overhangs. And it's far enough, once they're far enough gone, let me say it again. One or more large funds decide the Bitcoin supply overhangs are far enough gone and just start aping. Many are benchmarked to Bitcoin performance and can't afford to miss the boat once it starts running. Now, I should add to that all the Bitcoin related or crypto related stocks are doing really well. Coinbase up 5%, Bitfarms up 5.5%-ish, MicroStrategy up 5.6%, and that thought process, it might start to happen right here. Semler Scientific has filed with the SEC to raise $150 million to buy more Bitcoin. It had already bought $58 million worth of Bitcoin, and this is basically the MicroStrategy playbook, because again, the whole industry is being legitimized by, for example, announcements of this sort here. Teddy shared that the Bitwise Ethereum ETF banner went up outside the iconic facade threw up an iconic facade at the New York Stock Exchange this evening, with indeed it looking pretty cool. And indeed, it is quite strange if you realize that the word Ethereum is hanging on the freaking New York Stock Exchange, right? If you told me this a couple years back, I would have laughed at you, and now it's a reality. One more thing that's quite an interesting reality is this right here. Take a little bit of a look at the presidential candidate, our friend Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who said something pretty interesting about Bitcoin.
How has your experience been so far?
I'm a huge supporter of Bitcoin. I was here a year ago at the other Bitcoin conference. I went home with most of my wealth into Bitcoin, so I'm fully committed.
Not sure if I honestly believe in, though. I guess that's a different question. But if you're wondering about the numbers, yesterday for the Bitcoin ETFs, we had a slight positive day, about $30 million in. The day before that, roughly $50 million in. And for the Ethereum ETF, we had a second day of outflows, which might explain more about why the price of Ethereum went down so much here. I mean, I can't say it's been awful, but Ethereum did go down to, 3,100 or so from 35 just a few days ago. And I guess part of it is either the fear when it comes to the Ethereum ETFs of all the outflows, and partially just the outflows themselves, which will inevitably switch around like we discussed yesterday. It makes too much sense for the Bitcoin ETFs to be replicated here with Ethereum, meaning a slight little piece of downtime before going absolutely crazy. It's still my honest expectation. And I've got to say, some of the more fun parts of the entire season, we've not even come close to yet either. One part, for example, is CZ, the previous CEO of Binance, getting out of jail. I kind of wonder how crypto will look at that time. Not because he's going to be pumping it, but just for fun. Let's say you skip out on crypto for a few months and all of a sudden you look back, just how much has changed. Just like how a lot has changed over the last 6 months. And then relate back to the videos I've made previously talking about how things are going to look over the next 6 or 9 months. As again, these cycles, usually it's about 150 weeks of bull, 50 weeks of bear. Right now we are about 80, maybe 90 weeks into bull. So we've got about a year, slightly more than that left. And then from that perspective, just imagine how far up we're going to be in, let's say, a year from now. Because when I look back at some of my trading tutorials from not even a year ago, Bitcoin's price is at 27, 28. And many people say, oh, you definitely shouldn't be buying Bitcoin. But right now we're far above double. And it's just, again, another reminder of just believe in something. I will have a question for y'all, which is, are you still bullish on XRP? And the reason I'm asking that is because whenever I look at my news outlets that basically have lists of all the most clicked articles, etc., You know, XRP articles are always at the top, but then I look in my comment section and people are always angry. So it is kind of funny. To me, XRP still has a very, very good risk to reward, but some of these articles I think are a bit over the top. When 100 XRP will be worth $10,000 if it mirrors the 2017 bull run. With most cryptos, I just don't like to put up the charade, facade, or whatever, that we're gonna on average see like 150 X's or so. Most of these coins at the top here can still do well, but let's be real, it's very hard to make a 10x with Bitcoin because it has to go to like 700,000. Can it happen over time? Sure, but for one run, it's a lot. Similar with Ethereum, to go to $30,000, I think will happen eventually, but in one cycle, it's just so much. And this person then says $100 per XRP. You have to understand that is basically 200 times of what it is right now. 20 times from what it is right now? Yeah, I mean, in terms of market cap, $600 billion, it's pretty high, but it's not even double of what Ethereum is at. So it's definitely feasible. But 10 times that again, it's very, very difficult to get to in such a short amount of time. One thing that over the next few months will be a lot more interesting, though, is the fines and the regulations when it comes to crypto exchanges because of MICA, right? The European rules for crypto. And one thing I just noticed is Coinbase UK also got fined like $5 million for just not going through their AML rules proper enough. It's just a matter of how crypto bills and how crypto regulations are looking. A U.S. Senator withdraws support for Elizabeth Warren's anti-crypto bill. Republican Senator Roger Marshall has withdrawn as a co-sponsor for an anti-crypto bill he co-created with Senator Elizabeth Warren a couple years back. I think this also, as Trump and a lot of those guys get more and more supportive of crypto, it's harder and harder to defend the opposite side. If you know that now that Biden is out and Gary Gensler is probably going to be out, you're not going to get similar realms of support. And since the ETF is now on the stock exchange, you know, just a big banner there, being completely anti-crypto is just not the most logical way to go about it. One more thing that happened, though, in a negative sense, is apparently Bitcoin and a couple of the other cryptos have had their little emojis taken away, apparently. People thought, oh, this must be a jab at Bitcoin, but apparently Elon a while back said that all these little emojis for hashtags are going to be removed. And talking about controversial things, by the way, this article says Ripple CEO supports Kamala Harris. Ripple CEO Brett Garlinghouse urges the VP Kamala Harris to clarify her crypto stance as debates intensify over digital currency policies and regulations. And I want to say there that we on this channel often talk about Trump being the man of crypto. That's because publicly he's been supporting it. And right now, also as we speak, he's over at the Bitcoin conference. So he's been the man for a little bit. And I just want Gary Gensler to get thrown out and somebody else to come in. So from that perspective, I think Trump is one of the guys. Opposite side, I will admit that you can say a lot when you're running up, but the moment you get in office, you can change your policy the entire way or just leave it in the dirt. So obviously, I know that too. And their stance on crypto is not all that matters for leading a country. I know that also. But it's kind of funny how Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple is a bit two-sided. He basically says, hey, be cautious because she might be like Elizabeth Warren 2.0, but she does understand Silicon Valley. So perhaps he's just bullish on Kamala Harris from the perspective that she's going to understand the lawsuit and help out in that nature, even though she's going to be probably garbage against crypto. We'll see. I mean, she didn't want to go to the Bitcoin conference, so she definitely did not want to show support for it. And I think it is also, from a politics perspective, smart to be divided, one choosing the one side, one choosing the other side. And again, I don't want to go too far into their politics of these crypto leaders and whatnot, because at the end of the day, they're also just people. But I just thought it was quite interesting. And again, if you're wondering about this video, it's partially to warn you guys again that things are heating up, right? That the buying sprees, they're starting. I mean, we've looked at it for such a long while with the buildup of these ETFs, etc. But right now it's getting so close. And again, my personal strategy that I've just been describing on this channel is just to buy until there's no tomorrow. And if you disagree, that's fine. But this is exactly what I think is best over the next few weeks and months to make massive amounts of profit. Yeah, that's about it.